Yeah, we are in the midst of
Hey guys, this is Backdraft and welcome to another episode on the Symmetria server. This is episode number 18. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in this episode, I will not end until we finish the inside of the palace. And those of you guys that have been following the series thus far, you know what I'm talking about. We got one more room on the inside of the palace that needs to be done. So in a live stream, actually it was a couple live streams, and in the last episode, we finished up the villager breeder, which is up top of that tower right here. And as you can see, things are getting a little crazy inside of this tower. There's an iron golem running around. There's just a random piece of cactus chilling in the middle. I don't know how the heck an iron golem spawned in here. Maybe there was like a zombie outside that they heard growling or something. I don't know, but I actually think I'm gonna trap this guy in here so that iron golems aren't spawning all over the place. I've created an unintentional iron farm. But either way, on the latest live stream, we were able to get all 3 villagers in here that we needed. I was able to fix the little bit of a glitch that was going on with the farmer over here. So as you can see, we put a trapdoor there and some solid blocks. That should stop the farmer from going into a bed. I don't know for sure, but once we get all the villagers we need, we're probably going to be turning this thing off anyway. And it's already working. I've tested it out. It's already cranking out baby villagers. Unfortunately, right now, we are sending them to boarding school. That's where they're going, actually. All the babies are going to boarding school. Don't worry, none of them are being hurt. So with the breeder working, it is now time to get started on the trading hall. And I have a design ready for the trading hall. It is super awesome. It's probably going to take a while to collect up all the resources. The main resources that I'm going to need to spend time collecting are birch logs, I think is the #1 thing that I'm going to need to spend some time collecting. Everything else I think I actually have already. There's a bit of redstone that we have to do with this build. We're building a station and evaluation station for villagers in order to evaluate them and determine if they're worthy of entering our trading hall. And we also have a little bit of redstone at the bottom of the breeder, which is at the bottom of this tower right here. So there's going to be a little drop chute right through this tower where the baby villagers are going to drop down and be sent over into the evaluation station stasis chamber thingy. And we're also going to have a kill switch so we can turn the breeder on and off so that we're not always piling up villagers. Since this is a server with a bunch of people on it, each base is only allowed a maximum of 20 villagers. So with the 3 I have up there and the spots that I'm going to have down here in the trading hall, that is going to fill up all of my allotted villager allowances, sirs. With Valentine's Day approaching in a couple weeks, it looks like the Symmetrians are not missing a beat, and some very generous ones are already leaving gifts at people's bases. It looks like a giant little green pixel, pixel heart thingy in my storage room over here, and there's a little note that comes with it. The incredible Zavom, the Redstone wizard incumbent of the server, wanted to send you love this Valentine's Day, so enjoy this digital heart sent just for you. Spread the love this season for free. More info at the shop, and then there's some coordinates for his shop, and there's a little gift here, and oh my god! We spent all that time, like a whole hour, and we only got like 3 stacks of purple blocks, and he just comes and leaves me an awesome little Valentine's Day gift with a ton of purple blocks. This is probably all the purple blocks we're gonna need all season. I mean, unless we end up building something out of purple blocks, which I don't know if we're gonna end up doing that based on the block pallets we've been using all season. Thank you very much, Savon. While I was working on the design for the trading hall, I noticed that there was a little bit of a flaw. So in my creative testing world, this wall, I actually built 1 block this way. So essentially, instead of me designing the entire trading hall, again, I'm just gonna push this wall 1 block that way. Either way, it's kind of a pain in the neck, but this is the least amount of work, and then I'll have to tidy up these wall decorations a bit, probably move that 1 block that way, and all that. It shouldn't take too long, but I really need to make sure that I count in the future. Wall has been pushed back, so that's 1 thing checked off the list to get the villager breeder done. And as you can see by my inventory, I am now working on step number 2, which is to collect, if I could use my rockets, which is to collect a butt ton of birch logs. I think we're gonna need like 10 stacks of birch logs. I've been at this for maybe 5 minutes or so, and I already got a stack and a half. I'm just kind of using up some of the bone meal that I have saved up. And, you know, just doing this the old-fashioned way. You know, I have another wood farm. I don't have a regular wood farm. Of course, I could always go down to the shopping district and buy the birch logs. I think some people are selling them for 1 diamond a stack, which is pretty decent. But that depends on if I get bored of doing it this way. Sometimes I like doing grinding the old-fashioned way instead of just, you know, going over to the shopping district. Shopping district's just a commodity, so, you know. All right, step 2 is now complete. We grinded out quite a bit of birch and a couple stacks of acacia. That should be all of the wood that we need. Now on to step 3 before we can get started with the actual build. I want to get all of the redstone in place. I gotta go off on a quick tangent here because it has finally happened. The gaming district is now open, and I've popped over there really quick, and it looks like there's already some games that are manifesting in the area a little bit. But look at the portal behind me. That thing is so sweet. There's like little toy soldier guys. They look so awesome from so far away. And the portal just looks crazy. It looks like some sort of like festival decorated like triumphant archway thing. I don't even know how to describe it, whatever. But anyway, so there's this giant hole right in the middle in front of the portal. I don't really know what's gonna go in here yet, but obviously it's gonna be an extremely large game. We have this over here, which is kind of like a casino. Gambling is bad, kids, but I did win a few diamonds in there already playing a few of the games. And then we have this over here, which is, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a tower defense sort of game where one person tries to run up the sides of the tower and get to the top, and then there's a person inside defending the tower, and they're basically trying to activate these pistons and push that person off into the water below. It's a pretty cool game. There's also a couple more out that way, and of course right here there's a couple of spots that have been claimed. And this one right here is my spot. So if you guys remember earlier in the season, I can't remember which episode, it's been a while, I showcased a design for my Fire 'em Up game. And now that the gaming district is finally up and running, we're going to be building this game right here on the server in our very own claimed plot in the gaming district. So Fire 'em Up. If you guys missed that episode, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. But essentially, it's a game where you have to use firework rockets to hit target blocks. And there's one little feature that I didn't show in the previous episode that I think I'm going to add to make the game a little bit more interesting. And that is a time trial version of the game where essentially you try to hit all of the target blocks as quickly as possible, and we're going to set up a little timer thing, and then people can put in their high scores. That'll be in addition to the easy, medium, and hard modes of the game where you have a limited number of firework rockets to try and hit all 8 of the targets that are in the game. Now, I don't think we're going to get to start to building this episode, but we will definitely get it up and running by next episode, as far as I know. But anyway, back to the villager trading hall. Step 3, aka Operation Redstone, is now all done. So let me show you guys what we have going on. So right over here is the villager evaluation station. So the villagers are going to be fed into this spot right here, and once they grow up, we'll be able to push this button to dispense out a minecart and collect the villager, place them right here, and then evaluate their trades. So I'll demonstrate that right now. If I push the button, the cart will go underneath the villagers there. The villager will get scooped up in the minecart, and they will end up right there-ish. So this is where we will evaluate their trades. I'm obviously going to be prettying this area up with the design that I have. But we'll evaluate their trades, and if we reach a point where we no longer want or need the villager, or mistake and put down the wrong block or whatever and give them the wrong type of trade that we don't want, we can get rid of them by pushing this button right here. And they will essentially fall down into the unemployment line. I gotta get the card into the right place. They'll fall down into the unemployment line where we will no longer have to deal with them. But in reality, what I got going on down there is there is a lava pit down there that will break the hopper minecart and feed it into a dropper system, which puts it right back into this dispenser. So the hopper minecart, or the regular, it's not a hopper minecart, it's a regular minecart, ends up back in that dispenser, and the villager will be sent to the unemployment line, like I said, and we will no longer deal with them. So here is the redstone for the dropper. Elevator, essentially the hopper minecart will get broken by the lava and sucked up by hoppers that are directly underneath it. I keep saying hopper minecart, it's just a regular minecart. And then they'll be fed into this dropper elevator and sent back to the dispenser, so we are infinitely recycling all of the minecarts. Now, over here is the other little redstone circuit that I built, and this is the kill switch for the breeder. So if I just break into the floor down here beneath the switch, there is a redstone line that is leading all the way down here. Now, I can't really get past because if I break this, we're going to be exposing the floor there, and I don't want to have to deal with the sand that falls through. But anyway, what's happening is essentially this lever is controlling this piston, which will extend and de-extend, unextend, extend and de-extend. What's the opposite of extend for piston? I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, it will extend and de-extend that piston and trigger that observer, which is actually controlling a dispenser with a water bucket in it. So let me break in there real quick and I'll show you guys exactly what's going on. Right now, it's on. So the water stream is flowing. That water stream will carry the villagers all the way over there into the little collection spot for the villager evaluation. If I flick this lever, essentially we're turning it off. Now you can see we have the water source carrying all the way to, there's a water vader over there which takes them up into the station. And right here is where we have the piston is directly behind this block right here. And in this dispenser is a water bucket. So when we flick the lever to turn it on, this piston extends and the water turns on to let the villagers go off towards the evaluator. This connects all the way up to the top, which is where the breeder is. So any baby villagers will come all the way down. If we have the system off, well, you know what'll happen. They're sent off to boarding school. All the baby villagers will be sent off to boarding school where we won't have to deal with them anymore. But if the breeder's on, they will essentially be carried over to the collection station. Now on to step number 4, which is the final step, and that is to build the infrastructure for the villager trading hall. And I have a really, really sweet design that we're going to be throwing together for a desert themed trading hall. We're gonna throw that together right now, and I'm gonna do that in a third-person time lapse. I hope you guys enjoy, and roll that music. The trading hall is all done, and I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. This bad boy turned out super cool. So a few highlights for this room. The block palette is pretty much sandstone, granite, and birch wood with a little bit of acacia thrown in there. So I tried to mimic the design of the doorways that I've been doing throughout the rest of the palace, but use the block palette for this room. You can kind of see we transition from the palette for the rest of the palace into the palette for the room, and I think that looks pretty cool. So I normally don't build with granite blocks. I never really see many people build with granite blocks. But if you can find the right palette combination and right designs, I think you can definitely make granite look really, really good. Same thing for andesite and diorite. You just got to find the right combination of blocks. So there's the doorway. We did this little design with the birch fences and the granite walls for the walls of the inside of the room. We also made a custom roof using birch wood and a little chandelier using some acacia and some lanterns. So this design right here is actually the consistent block palette that I'm going to use for the city of Agrabah, a lot of the buildings. And whatever other block palettes any of the Symmetrians want to use for their community builds that they might be putting in the city, I'll recommend that they use any blocks in these palettes: sandstone, birch wood, acacia wood, granite. I think it'll all look really, really cool once it's done. So essentially what we're working with here is we have each of these cells, and this is where all of the villagers are going to live once we find them. And by find them, I mean find the ones with the right trades. So over here is the educated villager evaluation station system, which I already put down a crafting table in case we need to craft anything for the trades that they have going on, and a lectern. Because the first type of villager that I want to get, of course, is the librarian villager. So we're looking for Unbreaking 3, Silk Touch, Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, or 4 if we all take 4 if we can get 4. And what was the one I didn't say? I think it was Fortune 3. Yeah, so essentially 5 librarian villagers with the enchanted books that we'll use for any of our replacement tools or new tools that we would use throughout this season. Now, the first thing you might notice behind me is there are no villagers in here yet to be evaluated, and that is because I haven't AFK'd at the breeder at all. And I don't think the breeder is actually active when I'm this far away from it. So we're gonna have to go all the way up to the top of the spire to get the breeder to turn on and get some villagers. One cool thing I wanted to point out about this design before I go and do some villager breeding is the floor right here. Now, you may think, oh, okay, it's just sandstone. But keep in mind, the top of the sandstone block looks like this. These are actually sandstone stairs. So the bottom of the sandstone stair block is this rough looking texture. So it's just a little bit of an extra, I guess, cool texture sort of the fire thing that I added to the room just to make it a little bit more interesting, because before, when it was just the plain old top of the sandstone texture, I didn't really like it that much. And I saw this, you know, if you put the stair upside down, you get this really cool texture, which is actually the texture of the sides of the sandstone. So that's what we have right here. So I think the floor kind of blends in with the wall very, very well when we have the floor with the sandstone stairs. So now it's time to do some AFK and fill this thing up with villagers. Already, I AFK'd for a little while and got a bunch of villagers stacked up, and we've been at this for about a combined total of 45 minutes or so, and we already have 3 villagers with pretty good trades. So I've just been standing here, placing down the lectern, checking the trades. If I don't like it, break the lectern, place it back. Keep resetting the trades until we find something good. And like I said, I've already found 3 villagers that have pretty good trades. So we got one guy who has mending for silk touch for 12, which isn't bad. I'm not too concerned about prices right now. I'm mainly just looking at actually having the trades. Then we have this guy who actually has mending for 9, because we've done some trading with this guy and got him up. I've been trading paper with him to get some emeralds. And he also has multi-shot for 13. I mean, I don't really care about multi-shot, but this is a pretty good trade. 1 emerald for 4 glass? That's not bad at all, actually. 1 emerald for a lantern as well. It's really good to have. And then finally, this guy, he's okay. We have efficiency 5 for 62, which isn't that great, but seriously, with how often you pop efficiency 5, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to keep on grinding. We still need Unbreaking 3 and Fortune 3, so I'll check back with you guys in just a bit. I think we're in a pretty good spot now in terms of villager trades, so I spent a little bit more time grinding out the remaining villagers. There's still a couple more left, and we ended up with some pretty good trades. A couple of them are pretty expensive, but I'm not too concerned about pricing right now. I can always grind out villagers that have cheaper pricing, or just make sure to max out all the trades. Or zombify the villagers. I think I might end up zombifying the villagers and curing them in order to get cheaper trade prices. We'll figure that out at some point. But anyway, this is what we ended up with. So we have this guy here who has Silk Touch for 8 emeralds, which isn't too bad. He also has Riptide. I don't really care much about that. We have him at Journeyman, so there's a couple more levels for him. This guy right here, we have Mending for 10, which is really good, and Multi-Shot for 14. Don't really care too much about that, but this trade right here is really good. 1 emerald for 4 glass. That is a really, really good trade. I'm excited for that. This next guy here, he has Efficiency 5, which is amazing. I got that quite quickly compared to how long it took me to get it in my single player series. But 58 emeralds is quite a bit, but honestly, I don't really care because I think eventually we're going to have a lot of emeralds. I'm kind of foreshadowing out a couple future projects here, so stay tuned, guys. He also has a multi-shot as well. Don't really care about that, like I said. And then the last 2 librarians, this guy has Fortune 3 for 35. It's a little pricey for Fortune 3, but once again, don't really care too much about the prices. I just want to make sure I have the trades. Haven't really got him past Novice yet, and the same thing with this guy here. He has Unbreaking 3 for 22, which is actually a really good trade. Unbreaking 3 is usually a little bit more expensive than that. And then on top of that, I have a couple Toolsmiths here, which I think I maxed out both of them already. So I did this for the iron trades, and these guys kind of jacked up the price for iron because I did a lot of iron trading in order to max out these guys over here to get the emeralds I needed. But I think we're definitely going to zombify these guys and then heal them up so we can get the 1 emerald for 1 iron trade, which is going to be super awesome. In terms of the diamond tools that they give, this guy gives a diamond axe with Unbreaking 2 and a diamond pickaxe with efficiency 2. That's okay, not anything special. And then this guy, this one's not bad. This is efficiency 3, Unbreaking 3, fortune 1 for 20 emeralds, which is pretty decent if you ask me. And then an efficiency 1 for 16. I think that's actually better than this guy's pickaxe. Yeah, so we can essentially just get a diamond pickaxe for 16 emeralds, which is pretty awesome. And then I think for the rest of the villager spots for now, I think I'm just going to make a bunch more toolsmiths so that we can trade up a bunch of iron, since we basically have free iron on the server with our amazing iron farm, so I can trade a bunch of emeralds and stack up on iron. But anyway, ladies and gents, that is all time I have for this episode. If you liked it, please do not hesitate to hit that thumbs up. And if you've been enjoying the series so far, please hit that subscribe button. The majority of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I'm closing in on 600 subscribers, and that would be so awesome once we hit that milestone. Thank you guys so much for helping me thus far. I will see you guys again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we are in the place to be. Yeah, yeah, yeah.